Hey there, my name is Mike Munzing with Munzing Mortgage Group. Each week I make these videos for you, put them up on YouTube with the idea of encouraging you to kind of do the same thing. We're all in the real estate industry and these technologies, these resources are fantastic. I hope you enjoy these videos, get good information, pass them on to your buyers to let them know what's going on. This week we're going to be covering both the foreclosure report for the month of April as well as Stephen Thomas's report as well. So first, let's jump into Stephen's report. I'll bring it up on the screen here. It's also available on my website at www.mikemunzing.com. Let's see what Stephen covers for the County of Orange for this last 2-week period. He likes to highlight a couple of things in the beginning of his report each couple of weeks. This time he's talking about equity sellers. Now, there are still equity sellers out there, as Stephen notes, and they are the ones kind of sitting in the catbird seat. Actually, I got a call from an old friend today who just sold his home up in Huntington Beach, equity seller. He sold that thing in the first weekend. He had 6 offers, fantastic situation. It's those who are more distressed, the upside down, the short sales. Obviously, foreclosures aren't good, but those are the ones that are having more trouble. But in the last couple of weeks, we've got 18% of those homes that were sold were foreclosures, 23% were short sales, and 59% were equity sellers. Those are the ones that you and I like, make life a lot easier for us, so that's good. As for the housing demand, the demand continues to cool just a little bit. It's down in the last 2 weeks, about 147 homes for the county as a whole, down to about 342 properties that are currently in escrow for the county as a whole. That's how Stephen covers the demand, is the homes that are actually in escrow. Next he covers, on page 2 there, are the interest rates. I'm not going to go over the whole rate sheet. You can find that on my website as well. But the rates are up just slightly from last week. They're really kind of dove down and bottomed out. They've trickled up last couple of days. Active listing, the listing inventory is relatively flat overall from the last couple of weeks. And distress market is off just a little bit. It dropped just slightly from 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to cover some of that information next on the foreclosure report. So let's jump into that. I'll replace Stephen's with the foreclosure report for the last month, once again, for the month of April. As you can see, you can print that up on my website as well, but that is from foreclosureradar.com. My friend Sean O'Toole has put this website together. If you're not using that, if you are trying to sell foreclosures or have clients looking for those, you really need to subscribe to Sean's site. It's fantastic. It is the best site out there for getting you details. But the month of April for California as a whole dropped surprisingly and substantially for the month of April. Let's take a look here. It said it's down to levels not seen since late 2008. Now 2008 is when the government jumped in and really made some drastic changes to the banks, and it pretty much stopped the foreclosures cold. But Sean says the drop in filings and the rise in cancellations is surprising. Banks have had time to resolve all those robo-signing issues, so we should be seeing exactly the opposite results with lenders starting to catch up on the recent delays. So even Sean is really excited. I'm going to go through all the numbers in detail shortly here, but even Sean is excited at what we're seeing in the overall report. Let's jump into those charts. Each month I print these up here. The first one I want to show you is that first stage. Once the homeowner has been delayed or late on their payments, the lender can file the notice of default. This is the first filing. This starts the foreclosure process, and that is down from last month 25.8%. As you can see, a big drop on the other side of the chart there, at 2,788 properties. Next is the notice of trustees sales. That too is down about 10.9%. You can see the far side, a slow decline over the last few months at 21,732 properties for the state of California. Next would be, once the properties actually go to the steps of the courthouse, three things happen. Either they sell back to the bank who brought the foreclosure process upon it, the homeowner, or it could sell to a third party, or the property can be canceled. So in this case, we're looking at the chart, dropped 17.2% of the REOs that went back to the bank, and that is at 11,342 properties. Next are the properties that went to the third party. You can see here, that too dropped about 15.75% to a little over 3,000, about 3,500. Sorry, the number's a little off there, but about 3,500. Next would be the properties that were canceled. 18,488 properties. Now that is the one area I mentioned in the beginning a little bit ago. The cancellations skyrocketed. This is where the banks either did the loan modifications or something happened and they canceled out the foreclosure process. That was up 26.95%. That's a big jump. Now we go for the big overall numbers, big averaging numbers. This number here is up a little bit, up about 10.93% to 123,000 properties that are in the pre-foreclosure stage. This is all the properties for the state of California that have had the foreclosures filed on them. They're in the early foreclosure stages as a whole, 123,000 properties there. Next are the properties that have made it to the notice of trustee sale. They are awaiting sale. They may have been canceled, or postponed, but they are scheduled for sale. It's 108,000 properties. You can see up there that it's continued to drop over the last couple of months, down 9.8%. And finally, the number that I cover each month is the actual inventory held by the banks, not brought back on the market yet. That's 111,000 properties, almost exactly flat from last month. The lenders are still kind of hanging on to those properties and haven't brought them back on the market yet. Well, those certainly were interesting results for the month for foreclosures, unexpected. But now, what I want to let you know, as a lot of you know, I have gotten into the political world a little bit, got elected last June to local office here. But what I'm also doing, I've told you about these before, I've put together my little conservative happy hours. These are fun. Mark your calendar for June 9th. I've got a fantastic one. Big name coming down from LA, a gentleman by the name of Andrew Breitbart. If you don't know that name, look on Fox News, look on some of the other channels. He's the gentleman who helped bring down Acorn. He's gone after Planned Parenthood. He's really exposed a lot of the different issues in the news that have been coming down the pipe of late. He wrote a book recently by the name of Righteous Indignation. It's a very interesting book. I read it the last couple of weeks. But we are going to be in Newport Beach, June 9th, for one of my happy hours. It is going to be at the Tea Room at the Newport Beach Golf Course. It's on Irvine Avenue, right by the airport, off the 73 freeway. Should have hundreds of people there. Should be fantastic. So you can go to my site. You can print this flyer off. Come on down, grab a glass of wine. Should have a buffet dinner, little buffet tickets. Be great to have you there. Find out what's going on. Andrew is an expert on citizen journalism and using the resources that you have to make news, find out what's going on. Really cool stuff. Hope you can make it for that. Well, we are heading into the weekend, and once again, my name is Mike Munzing, Munzing Mortgage Group. I've been out here doing loans for about 21 years. Would absolutely love to work with you, love to work with your buyers, help them get the best loan for what they're looking to do. Working with a broker is still a fantastic way to go. I have multiple sources, fantastic rates, and can get your buyer just a great loan, make it easy for them, and still, in this difficult time, get the loan process through quickly. All right, well, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. It's the greatest place on earth to live. I pray you're doing well, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
is the house we used to live in. This is a place I